Shalom. I would like to try to do the 22 keys in the quickest possible way. If we can go through them really quick and see if we can do it. Okay, so this is taken from Talmud Bavli, because there's two Talmuds. This is taken from the Babylonian Talmud. Talmud Bavli, Masechet Shabbat, page 104a. Hagon Rav Zamir Kohen Shlita, at Sofen on page 43. So, Amar Rabbi Akiva, that Elu Kaf Bet Otiyot Shebahen Nitna Torah Kula L'Shiftei Yisrael. Said Rabbi Akiva, these are the 22 symbols. Ot is a sign or symbol. Elu Kaf Bet Otiyot, these are the 22 signs or symbols, and the sages actually refer to them as pictures. Hagon Rav Zamir Kohen Shlita, Hagon Rav Ari Kaplan Zatzal, Hagon Rav Moshe Shapiro Zatzal, Hagon Rav Yitzchak Ginsburg Shlita, Shem Shmer Lichiel, Rav Trugman Shlita. And the Aleph that are called pictures, that is the greatest discovery, because for someone who hates reading, like myself or whatever, this is an amazing thing, because every word is scribed with these symbols that once you learn what each one depicts, and not only that it depicts one thing, but once you learn all the things that each of these symbols depicts, then learning becomes really the most incredible thing, an actual communication from Hashem as it's supposed to be seen. Most people never get to see Hashem's message to the people of earth in the form that Hashem gave it in, Chas v'shalom. And we see the world today because of this, the fact that most people never get to see what would be the 22 symbols of truth, the 22 symbols that the Torah is given, with the 22 symbols that prophecy is transmitted in, and all the lessons of the Torah are here, really. That the Aleph Bet tell a story. The Aleph Bet is the source of everything on earth, as the sages say, that this is really the first part of creating something, that Hashem created the Aleph Bet to create the heavens and the earth. And that is the meaning of Et Hashamayim, the Et Haaretz. That Et is from the first symbol Aleph till the last symbol Tav. These symbols that are added at the end are just for the numbers, to continue the numbering system. But these symbols are in fact another unique feature that's lost in translation, is that the Aleph Bet, the symbols themselves, 5 of them could actually move. So based on the mem could be open, or the mem could be closed. So you have a mem sofit. And so, or the nun could be bent, or the nun could be straightened up. And the kids go through and explain that the nun, for example, is the ne'eman, to trust the humble servant on his knees. It looks like a person on his knees. And Rabbi Akiva, alav shalom, whatever you say, says it's like the humble, trustworthy servant on his knees before the melech, before the king. In Otiyot Rabbi Akiva, there are things that are appropriate to teach, and there are things that are not. And Baruch Hashem, these are only the teachings that are meant for every single person to be able to begin to properly learn, meaning enjoy Torah, what is Torah for real. And then, if we're commanded to enjoy Torah, then it becomes we're commanded to stare at these amazing symbols and deal with their concepts and really understand this amazing information that in its raw form, in its raw essence, even looks so amazing that you look at computer code. I mean, of course, you might argue beautiful code is seen visually like that, but here even the actual symbols are stunning. That the alphabet symbols is something that is completely lost in translation, and therefore all the divinity that is clear and evident, so clear when you're staring at the symbols in their true forms, does not even exist in another language, and you're just lost. What's translated into another language is some kind of story, a nice story. Maybe the story alone is still the best story that is ever told, if it's even told right. The real story also ends after 24 books. What's called the other scriptures that people added on, those are from the Talmud period. At best, that would be considered the Talmud of their version of the whatever Talmud and of their view and everything. Chas v'shalom. But again, people who are searching for truth, they want the truth. They don't care to be wrong. They want just to know what is really the case so that we can just finally settle everything and move on with life correctly, happily. And there's only one way about it. There's only one way. The Aleph Bet deal away with any religions that are going to then threaten Am Yisrael and threaten good people around the world with all these evil ideologies and try to scare and coerce people by threatening their life, their afterlife, their family's life, everybody, by threatening everybody to the most horrible place. Chas v'shalom, we don't even want to say its name. H-E double hockey sticks. Nah, okay, so Chas v'shalom. The Aleph Bet destroy these disgusting notions because the Aleph Bet, the whole end of the Aleph Bet deal with Gehenom itself. That there's a whole conversation between Hashem and Gehenom. And thank God that the sages who received the entire Torah from Moshe transmit every single word, every single symbol, every single letter, every single tiny dot, every single siman nesorah, every single commentary, Baruch Hashem. The great sages who transmit everything to us to this very second, who enable us to even read one word of the Torah. If anybody's just open up a Torah scroll, an authentic scroll, and read one word, please. Read several words, okay? Read the whole thing. Anyone who's seen with the concept of Kriya and Ktiv, good luck trying to be able to discern how to read it. Again, Hashem revealed everything to Moshe. Moshe revealed everything to Yehoshua. Yehoshua revealed everything to the Zekenim. Zekenim doesn't mean old people. Zekenim are like sages who illuminate the earth like a menorah. And that's the remez in the word Zekenim. Zayin Kanim. Sheva Kanim. These are the branches of the menorah. These sages illuminate the world like the menorah illuminated the whole Beit HaMikdash. The sages teach about the Beit HaMikdash that the windows of the Beit HaMikdash were actually flipped. Normally you build a window a certain way to let in more light into the house. The Beit HaMikdash windows were built out, that the Beit HaMikdash was lighting up the entire universe. The Beit HaMikdash essentially is like the lighthouse, the spiritual lighthouse of the universe, the lighthouse that connects this universe. It's like a tower, so it's really, well, I don't know if an actual shape of a tower, maybe Migdal David, but the whole point is that it's a structure and it's the portal. I go on Rav Moshe Shapiro Zatzal, I go on Rav Ari Kaplan Zatzal, I go on Rav Zamir Cohen, Shlita Hashem Yishmael V'Chiel, and all of the Rav sages' families today, Baruch Hashem, Shlita Hashem Yishmael V'Chiel, of course. Pray for our sages. I don't get the concept of praying for things that, like Alright, whatever, that's for another thing. But the Beit HaMikdash is the lighthouse of the universe. It was a place that was built with the Aleph that every person who got to go there got to see and experience what the alphabet teach. And these are the 22 keys to life. It's a keyboard, literally. This is the keyboard. And so the alphabet not only are symbols, they're also sounds, and they're also numbers. So the alphabet, as you're seeing them now, are arranged as a number chart. So, beginning with Aleph on the right. And this is another thing that's lost in translation, is that everything moves from right to left. So we begin from Aleph, and then we go Bet. Okay? And Bet is the first symbol that the entire written Torah begins with. Bereshith bara Elokim. Or, as it should be translated in the Septuagint, Elokim bara Bereshith. But no translation on earth today that I've seen follows the actual Septuagint 13 changes of the 72 Septuagint sages. Septuagint, I think it means 72 agents, if I understood. The 72 sages that were asked a second time by Talmai, I think it's translated as Ptolemy, I don't know. The Art Scroll, I have to reread it. Not up to them, that's me, it's on me that I didn't read that word, or whatever. And basically, he forced the 72 sages to translate the Torah into English for the first time. And when this happened the first time, the teaching just before this one is, as the owner Moshe Shapiro Zitzal points out, and all thanks to Rav Abraham Kalini, Shlita, Hashem Yishmael, V'Chayav, Kol Mishpachtam, of course. See, it's so dangerous to do that, to give the credit, because then you know where you are. So, the first time it was 5 sages that were asked by Talmai HaMelech, Talmai the king, to translate the Torah into Greek. And it was as difficult a day for Am Yisrael as the day of Chet HaEgel, where the Torah went down an entire level, as Hagaon Rav Moshe Shapiro Zitzal says. And the Torah went down the same level that the Torah went down by Chet HaEgel. The Torah went down an additional complete level. It's not at all the same when it was translated into Greek for the first time. So we already know the simple reason is because as soon as you leave these symbols, everything is lost. You lose all of the divinity, the beauty, the actual. You see the brilliance of Hashem, the creator of these symbols, that the entire Torah is transmitted in. And we still didn't even discuss what each one depicts, as we will. Zrat Hashem. Okay, and so in that teaching, the next teaching is that there were 72, and maybe these teachings are back to back. Why would Talmai ask the sages again to now translate the Torah again? Because maybe the first time the 5 sages wrote 5 slightly variant things because it doesn't say anything else, and then the second time it says that he put 72 sages in 72 separate rooms, and he didn't tell them why he brought them in. And he went into each room, and he told the sage, "Write me the Torah of Moshe." And he left, and he went into the next one. "Write me the Torah of Moshe." And he made the 72 sages who didn't know why they were brought in and placed into these 72 different rooms. And then he says, "Write me the Torah of Moshe." And so it says Hamakom. The name Hamakom is used here as opposed to all the other names of Hashem. I don't know. The place, meaning maybe the Hamakom is when your awareness of where you are, maybe situational awareness. Hamakom, you see the situation, I don't know, or Hamakom simply a name of Hashem, because Hashem is really the place of the universe. Hashem contains the universe, and not the universe contains God. That's for sure. Hashem is the containing the universe within. What is outside our universe or the box, we don't know. But what we know is what Hashem revealed, and that is the symbols. And when Hashem says, Anochi, Hashem wrote his soul down and gave it to us, as the sages teach on that. Hadonah Moshe Shapir Yitzhak, Hashem, Rabbi Yochanan, Hashem al-Talmud, Babli. That's all. The concept of giving credit each time would be, I don't know, if you could even speak properly. So the kids are saying from the first two symbols, Aleph and Bet, so the kids teach Aleph, Bina. Aleph is learn together as one. As Hagaon Rav Zamir Cohen Shlita says in Hatzofen, that Aleph is the highest level of learning, as the Pasuk. I think that Shlomo says, Ve'a elfcha chochma. I think that, or that could not be Shlomo, but whatever, it's in Tanakh for sure, it's a Pasuk. Basically, Aleph is the highest level of learning, and that is face to face. And it's seen in the Aleph itself, that is comprised of sort of like two heads that are connected in the middle, like two people that are on opposite sides, or like the table, and then the two chairs on the but it'd be connected like those high school chairs with the desk connected to the table. It's horrible. And so that would be like the table in the middle and the two chairs, and the people are learning together as one face to face. And if you're seeing it, that the upper yud and the lower yud, that that could be maybe the master teacher to the student, or simply two friends who are learning together, bechabruta, meaning together, connected together as one. When you're learning the same Torah together, two perspectives, and even if they're on opposite sides, it's the same Torah that unites them. The Vav, as we say on the Haggadah Shel Pesach, Shisha mi yodea. Vav is 6 numerically. Who knows 6? Shisha ani yodea, Shisha sidrei Mishnah. The spoken Torah that preceded the written Torah, but the spoken Torah that is basically the Shisha sidrei Mishnah. I don't know why that takes precedence. Obviously, there's a lot to say here. But considering that that's the Torah Shebe'al Peh, the beginning of the Torah Shebe'al Peh, not in that order though, but that is where you see the Chavruta, the two sages learning together. So the two sages learning together as one. Aleph numerically is one. The Torah that begins with a big symbol Bet. So I would make it big here, but I don't want it to throw off the chart right now. So the Torah begins with a big symbol Bet, and here Rabbi Akiva teaches that the Bet, why does the Torah begin with a Bet? It's because that it's closed on all sides. Okay. Okay, because the Bet, it's closed on all sides and it's open to the future. So like imagine the mouse is like walking like in Mario or whatever. You hit the wall, you can't go that way. It's a closed bracket. The only way to go is out this way. So Bereshith, and this is the first symbol that the entire Torah, and not only that, it has to be big. It has to be bigger than this, whatever. Right? A little bit bigger, and it has another special feature that I won't, reveal or spoil right now. Whatever. Okay? And so the first two symbols are saying, learn together as one with a friend, meaning how important friends are, that's really the first step. It's always to have good friends in this world and make connections with good people. And obviously connections with people in power, if you have that. But again, actually, no. As I said that, all of the sages teach you don't want to connect with any people like that, basically. Not really. Actually, I don't know. I said that word. We can cut that out and whatever. But I was just saying, because a lot of the times, who you know, as they say, but it's unfortunate. I don't like that. It means that other people don't have a chance who don't know, and it's not a good feeling. Okay, so find a friend, a good friend, learn together, and the two youths also could be, husband and wife together as one. So learn together as one, face to face, the Torah that begins with a big symbol bet that teaches a person Binah. Binah is understanding, or understanding the flip side. And understanding something from another thing is Rashi. Rav Aryeh Kaplan, Litzal, Hagon Rav Zamir Cohen, Shlita, Shem Shmer V'Yel, Kol Mishpachtam. And meaning in all their families should also be protected and everything good. It's a blessing, you say, for special sages who have changed the world and are changing the world, and may they continue and be safe and have everything that they need and beyond. As Gon Rav Aryeh Kaplan says, Ad Bli Dai, Tzvat Hashem, Shlita Hashem Shmer. Okay, so learn together as one, face to face, the Torah that begins with a big symbol bet that teaches a person Binah, understanding, as Rav Aryeh Kaplan Zatzal says, bet Binah, understanding the difference, Bain, to understand the difference between things. Hamavdil, Bain Kodesh, Lecho. Bain is the word that is used in between. Bain or Lechosh. Bain Yisrael La'amin. So Bet Lamed, Bain Le, Bet Lamed is Lev. A person who has Lev has all the wisdom in the world, can unlock all the wisdom in the world. It's a person who knows the difference between things, a person who knows the difference between words, and therefore understands and knows not only the difference between words, but the difference between everything, and therefore understands everything that Hashem is communicating through the Torah. Someone who really understands what Hashem is saying. B'ezrat Hashem, it's in because once we understand, we know what to do, what switch to fix, what to do, or simply the fact that we need to start to come back and we want to know more about everything. And that's the only thing that needs to happen, is people reminded, not even reminded, but shown that this is something that they've been searching for and want and have been looking for, and it's just that most people are simply cut off from this in every possible way. And not only cut off, but then every possible distraction to distract you to forget the fact that we were ever cut off from this in the first place. And then you grow up, and then you have no free time, or very little of it, and life, God forbid, it's a terrifying thing, Chas v'shalom, and that's why we need to bring joy to people's lives, and a way to, this it really is an escape, the ultimate escape, because as the sages teach, Hagon Rav Aryeh Kaplan Zatzal teaches in the name of the Baal Shem Tov, and Hagon Rav Zamir Cohen Shlita in the name of the Baal Shem Tov, that a person is where his thoughts are. Whatever you think about, that's where you are right now. And that's why a person who's daydreaming, you actually have to shake them awake. You have to call them. You have to call their name and get them to snap out of it or wake up, because they are not here. Their body is here, but they are not here, right? You have to call him because he's not responding. He's not here. The body's here. But the person is where his thoughts are. A person who knows how to then channel and control his thoughts is one of the most amazing things. And what a person thinks about, if you then apply this concept, or if it's connected, concept might connect to other things, like things I'm not even going to discuss. Rav Zamir Cohen Shlita has a video about it. I won't even discuss it right now. But the point is that a person is where his thoughts are. And so the Torah is the most... Studying Torah is the transporting you into the most epic scenes that ever exist on the planet, and all of the Midrash, whoever has read the Midrash, has heard the Midrash. It's Torah Sheba'al Peh that was written down, of course, but whoever has heard it or read it today sees that all of the... It's actually relevant, because it's actually in the news, but the whole concept of all these superpowers and superheroes and teleportation and laser beams and everything that we think is so futuristic, and the Midrash speaks about every one of these kinds of things. It's just simply as if people saw this, heard it somewhere, took it, never credited, I made it up. You made this, I made this. And that's how life is. God forbid, but anyone who reads, knows, and sees the source of inspiration of all wisdom, all ancient wisdom, the further back we go, wisdom, people, it becomes fewer people, closer together, history intersects, many different people speak and got together at different points in time. All of humanity was once one, and once... It's such a different world, how the Torah shows you and what the world teaches. And the Torah is correct, because this is the symbols of the alphabet are the proofs that you could point to with your finger. This is what's called the edut. Hagaon Rav Moshe Shapira Zatzal. Aron ha'edut is where they kept the Torah. What would be translated as maybe the Ark of Testimony. Chas v'shalom, that word. The Ark of the witnessment, like an ed is a witness. Edut is the witnesses are giving, right? But I just hate that word because of its roots, chas v'shalom, and I'm not going to go into that right now. And that's not a sign for other people to look in. But God forbid, it has to do with what it sounds like, and it's a horrible thing. And God forbid, but maybe that concept comes from the fact that, that concepts in the Torah that I still struggle or do not understand and have to go over, or am I to understand them at all? Because we're supposed to understand certain things not. But the most important things, obviously, we're meant to understand. Secret things, who knows if we could be revealed answers to these kinds of things. Okay, so I completely failed in this video to make it short, but let's see where we're at here, how much time that was. Okay, a half hour in. Okay, 33 back. Okay, so let's see if we can just maybe do from here, and we will... No. Okay. Looking at the symbol Aleph, everything looks like what it depicts. I'm going to try to say the symbol of what you're seeing. Okay, whatever. I don't know, it's very hard, but let's just try to do something. Aleph Bet, the kids say Aleph Bina. Aleph is the symbol learned together as one, like the two Yuds, two heads, two people, opposite sides, but the same Torah in the middle that unites them. And even if they have different perspectives, they are still Elu ve'elu, these and these, both Aleph and Elu ve'elu, Divrei Elokim, again Aleph, Chaim. These are the words of Hashem. Hashem is infinite. There's so many ways to do the same thing in the world. There's so many different paths. There's so many everything. Just because two people are saying maybe two different, seemingly different is fine, but contradictory things, just because two people said something doesn't mean they're contradicting. There could be two different perspectives, two whatever. Anyway, Aleph is always the balance in the world. There's always two flip sides. Hagon Moshe Shapiro, as itself says. So Binah, Aleph Binah, Binah is understanding, but Aleph, so learn together as one, face to face, together with a friend or with a master teacher or husband and wife together. Aleph, if you upper Yud and lower Yud, so maybe master teacher, the student, everything. So Aleph, Bet, Aleph, Binah, learn together as one, face to face, the Torah that begins with the big symbol Bet that teaches a person Binah. This is the first symbol of the entire written Torah, and it's written big, so you have to see it big, like that, okay? And it has 4 crowns. I'm going to our Moshe Shapiro, that's not going to our Okay. So, learn together as one, face to face, the Torah that begins with a big symbol Bet that teaches a person Binah, understanding, how to understand and differentiate between two different things or seemingly similar things, but how to know the difference between everything. Know the difference between words, know the difference between concepts, Hamavdil, Ben Kodesh, Lechol, Ben Or, Lechoshech, Ben Yisrael, La'amin, Ben Yom HaShevi'i, L'Sheshet Yimei HaMaaseh. Know the difference between things and every word of the entire Torah, and fully understand what is Hashem communicating. Okay, and Bezrat Hashem, what a level to reach. Level. Maybe with Lev. Again, it has to do with level. Okay, so Aleph, Bet are the first 2 symbols, and that's what the kids are telling us from the start. Gimel Dalet is Gimel Dalim. Give to the poor. So Gimel is extending a helping Yad, Yud, the symbol Yud. The Gimel is extending a helping hand to the Dal, to the poor person. Or initially, it might look like, maybe it completely looks like a boot of some kind, some would say, but or it looks like the 2 legs, basically like a leg and a leg, and it's like running, because that's what the kids are going to say, that this is like the rich person, he wants to run to help the poor. Or simply he has his hand out, the helping hand that he's going to then give the dal. Because once we know that Aleph Bet are made up of other Aleph Bet, and this, Baruch Hashem, I think that is something that we discovered here, but I haven't seen it anywhere else. But the Gimel, if you scribe it like this to ensure that there is actually a triangle, a white triangle hidden within the Gimel, because Tri is 3, Gimel numerically is 3. That is sort of the secret of the symbol of the Gimel, to make sure that you have a perfect white triangle in the Gimel. And that's an Ahava Echad discovery or a first or whatever, I don't know. But obviously the script has been inspired, and I practiced by studying carefully by Rav Martin Mendelsberg Shlita and by Rav Eliezer Hagaon, Rav Eliezer Adam Shlita, Shem Shmer V'Chayel, Kol Mishpatam, of course, and Rabbi Yitzchak Ginsburg, and all the different teachings on the Aleph Bet to try to ensure that the correct shapes, and I'm still working on it and perfecting it, and there's going to be a whole expansion pack of different, not that I'm making it like a game, it really is, that there's all the special modifications for each Aleph Bet, all the special places in the Torah that the Aleph Bet change shape and form. All of these things, B'ezrat Hashem, things that have been, whatever, chas v'shalom, I don't even know, but thank God today that we live in this time, in a place that we have the freedom, or because we're learning, we're now getting the freedom back. The learning is the key. Learning Torah is just simply the connection that every person can have with Hashem, and have the good connection with Hashem, and not, God forbid, any other connections and any other people and sending money to all these different places, God forbid. Every sermon is just simply, look at these words, give me this money. Chas v'shalom. I'm saying there's good people, God forbid this is not a whole thing. Today's people are not the people of the past, nor do I think anyone wants to be associated with people, evil people certainly, of the past. And we're just good people who want to finally learn together and learn the truth, and to hide and censor things just because they're offensive, that is the opposite of finding the truth. That's actually trying to block out the truth from reaching people. And thank God all the censorships of the churches throughout the years, and different censors that were hired by all the printers and churches and everything, trying to blot out and erase parts that destroy their fake religion, that ruins their own life and the life of their followers, because it's idolatry. And all the prophets of Israel referred to idolatry as atzabim. David HaMelech in Tehillim says, Atzabehem kesef v'zahav ma'aseh yedei adam. Their sadness, depression, referring to the idolatry of silver and gold, the workings of the hands of man. Pe lahem velo yidaberu. They have a mouth and they can't speak, all the statues. Oznaim lahem velo yishmau. They have ears but they can't hear anything. Einayim velo yirun. They have eyes but they can't see. Or av velo yirechun. They have a nose but they can't smell. These gods are created by people, molded by people, and they represent the saddest concept that could ever be transmitted to a human being, that a father murdered his own son, and now it's okay. God forbid, chas v'shalom, again the Aleph Bet, deal away with all this depression, because what depression does, and sadness and this corrupt teachings in the name of God, what they do is they prevent true prophecy from returning, because in order to experience true prophecy, you need simcha, you need happiness. That's translated, there's many words for that are translated all in English as happiness, and who knows again what is the difference between simcha, gila, rina, ditza, tzchok, sason, and others maybe that I'm not coming up with right now. But what's the difference? They're all translated as happiness. Again, one of the, tens of monumental things that are just lost in translation. What you're dealing with, if you never get to see the Aleph Bet, of course, chas v'shalom, this is what life is. But if you get to see the Aleph Bet, Baruch Hashem, what life is, and be able to then occupy with these symbols, not just have them as static, but you actually use them and shape them and add the crowns to them and perfect them and learn the symbology of each of them, then your learning will become amazing. Even, you'll be learning like the prophets do. It's basically like any video game, where first the hero has to acquire the tools they need, and then they use those tools throughout, whatever. Link would get his sword. In Pokemon, you'd pick your Pokemon and you'd use that throughout the game. And so here, you start with these keys, symbols that the Torah is given with, and then you use them throughout the entire game, called learning Torah. Whenever you're reading any pasuk, anything, always look for Aleph Bet that are hiding. And then when you find an Aleph Bet that's hidden, then you can ask, why is this Aleph Bet hidden here? Why is this symbol hidden here? And what do I know about this symbol? And when you say, what do I know about this symbol, it always refers back to this lesson of the little children about what each symbol depicts. So that's the base knowledge that every person begins when they learn Torah. And then you use the aleph. You can see actually on YouTube, the analysis of words often reveals the deeper meaning as to what something is. And so in Lashon HaKodesh, by scanning the actual word, things become revealed, can become revealed. Hashem will reveal things to you if you ask. And Tefillah, I guess, as said, Azi Shlita said that it's even more of just a meditation. In fact, I have to ask him more about that. Get him back so we can continue the Kabbalistic podcast. Sounds great. Awesome. Shabbat Hashem. So Gimel is the giver. He's extending a helping hand to give to the dal, to the poor person. And the dal is, one hand is, the leg is slanting towards the Gimel, because it's up to the poor person to make himself known to the giver so that the giver could reach him. Also doesn't mean with money. If a person is poor, lacking certain information, he can go to the one who has the information. Interesting. Could be like why Google with an email also, like it's giving, I don't know, who knows. Anyways, again, a way to remember. That's a concept that we'll learn about later, but so Gimel Dalet Gemol Dalim is give to the poor. So what's the reason that this hand is pointing to the Dalet? Because the way of the giver is to always want to run and help and give to the poor. What is the reason that the Dalet is sort of pointing back to the Gimel? Because the poor person has to make himself known to the giver. What is the reason that the face of the Dalet turns away from the Gimel? So that the giver can give discreetly in order to not cause embarrassment, because it's embarrassing to have to receive. These roles also, these are roles. Each person within himself needs the balance of knowing to help, knowing when to help people, or how to help people. Again, this is the secret of maybe people and relationships in general, right here. And the highest way of giving tzedakah is discreetly, where you do not know who you're giving to. The people who are receiving do not know who they're getting from. Therefore, if you meet in the streets, no one is embarrassed. No one has any idea about anyone. No one knows who anyone and anything. And that's the highest level of giving tzedakah. Then, Hey and Vav, the kids say, Zeh Shmo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or according to the 600-year-old one, Hu Shmo Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Who is the name of Hashem? Again, we translate into English, and now I am speaking gibberish. Let's understand, Hey and Vav, numerically, Hey is 5, Vav is 6, so as we said in the Haggadah, 5 are the fifths of Torah. Fifths because what we call books, the 5 books of Moses, is not books, they're not books, they're each a fifth of the complete story. As also I've been seen in the writings of Rabbi Michael Shlomo Baron to confirm. But that's what it is. They're fifths. They're not. You have to. When you see it on one scroll, it's one continuous story. And here, when you print it, maybe people split it. Unfortunately, what can you do? Split it into 5 books, but it's really a fifth of the complete story. So 5 are the fifths of the Torah, and Vav is, or Wow, are the Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. Vav is 6, so Shisha Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. And Aleph, as we said, is Talmud, which is learning together as one face to face. The Talmud is where the sages, you learn about the sages, and the sages always learn in pairs. Hillel and Shammai. Or as Hillel would say, Shammai and Hillel. He always plays Shammai first. Hillel, the humble one, who Hillel was. Essentially an actual living prophet. One of the last living prophets, but the generation was not worthy. Whatever that means, even. You have to always see the language. What does that even mean? Who Hillel was. And not only a prophet, but who Hillel was specifically, is what it says about his students. You have to appreciate who the sages are. People think it's just some rabbi. And again, from the perspective of the world, the further back they go, the closer to monkey they become. But the further back we go, the closer to giants we become. The closer to these spiritual giants who had so much more power than the technology offers us today. And physical health is, as Gaon Rav Moshe Shapira Zatzal says, even about the generation of Bar Kokhba, which is the generation of Rabbi Akiva, which is about 2,000 years ago. How strong that army was. It was a destruction what happened. Hashem can give the world into the hands of 8 Hashmonaim. So Bar Kokhba's army could have for sure, whatever happened, Chas v'shalom, no one understands anything. Or whatever, I don't have to say it like that. I don't understand anything. On one hand, the more you learn, the more you don't understand anything. But on the other hand, that's not on the other. Why I learn, and also on the other hand, that's the Aleph again. On the other hand, Yad and Yad. This flip sides, the balance, the scales again. That's why it says, on the other hand, is the other option, the flip side. And Bet Binah is always understanding the opposite or understanding something from another thing. For example, in the end of the Aleph Bet lesson, it says, my battery, I'm just looking over here. So it says, the end of the Aleph Bet lesson, the ways of the wicked, Dlatotai Na'al. He closed his doors to God, right? If the ways of the wicked is that they close their doors to God, what are the ways of the righteous? They open their doors to God. Okay, that's called Binah, understanding the opposite, which is important, that whole section. If somebody who never learned the Aleph Bet is considered that they're never even alive, and someone who learned the Aleph Bet is literally like bringing the dead back to life. The dead meaning the Torah that seemed dead and boring, Chas v'shalom, or whatever. The people who have no inspiration and no beauty in their life and whatever, Chas v'shalom, again. We need to see beautiful things. People need to be around beautiful things. They need wisdom. They need things like that. And that's exactly what the Aleph Bet provides. It provides wisdom, and it provides happiness, and it provides protection. The whole lesson on the Aleph Bet deals away with any Christian or Islamic approach of, God forbid, fear and subjugation. They're lifting a weapon at an innocent human being and saying convert or die, either for the cross or for Islam, that they still do it today. The Christians stop, thank God. Or the Christians today with the words that they do, which they threaten your life, although they don't threaten you physically with the sword, they threaten your life and your family's life and your afterlife and say that you are all going to hell because you do not believe that God murdered his own son for you. God forbid, Chas v'shalom, the Aleph Bet Baruch Hashem forever deal away with all of these claims, and therefore the entire Torah that's scribed with the Aleph Bet. You have to see that the foundations deal away with any false, evil claims that are going to try to scare kids. And ve'in zahastan, ve'in ata mizda'azea min hasatan. You will not even tremble before the Satan, which is aka Malach HaMavet, as Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi had conversations with the Malach HaMavet on many occasions. The sages spoke to the angels, the Malach HaMavet, the angel of death, as translated, and they weren't afraid. Okay? No fear of evil people and evil ideas on earth when you are connected to Hashem, which is the Aleph Bet, and the entire Torahs that are transmitted with the Aleph Bet here on earth, the Aleph Bet in their true forms, that must be seen, scribed by a master scribe perfectly. If it's not perfect and it's not as beautiful, then it's not as it really is, because the Aleph Bet are perfect divine symbols that you have to see them. And if they're not perfect, if it's sloppy, it's not, you're ruining the divinity. Chas v'shalom, and that's why it helps, the beneficial, to have a font that you could then lay perfectly the entire Torah, but master scribes are able to do that. This just saves time. It doesn't save time. You still need a master scribe to write a Torah. You can't use a digital copy, you can't use a printed book, chas v'shalom, all these things. Okay, following all the rules and everything. Let me see. I think I'm just going to stop the video here. I hope that it's still good on playback, and we'll see. Call to